Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 106 of my modded Factorio playthrough. Enjoy! What's the goal here? What's the first step? We've got all our walls built, and kind of the first step really to any factory is mining. That's where all of the resources start. And I want to try to build this mega base, if possible, in the order of the products being made. And it's useful to build something that way because you can performance test it every step of the way to see if there's any errors rather than doing it all at once and then finding there's all kinds of problems. So we have all these walls. We don't need these markers anymore because we placed those to assist us in building the walls and basically just to prevent having to manually take notes. You still have to go down there and fix those that power, but we'll get there eventually. It looks like there's more power there than we need. Oh wait, so the lights are out here. That's interesting. So there must not be enough solar panels. Oh, I bet I know what it is. I bet because we put 2 radars there. Because one radar wouldn't quite work, and a radar uses a lot of power. So I bet in this situation we actually need another set of power things, or maybe one radar. Maybe if we place the radar like right here, it could just barely reach everything. We'll have to take a look at it, but clearly power ran out right there because there's no radar visibility anymore. I don't think we can zoom in. Yeah, it'd be kind of broken if the radar could be out of power and it still worked. So we need to build some mining bases before we even worry about having a new superbus and a mega factory and all that stuff. We have to get the products before we even worry about tracks and where the trains are. We actually need to mine. So we need to set up some mining stations. And to keep things simple, let's just build one mining station for each resource we need. We don't need to mine every single little patch here. We kind of just want to go for the big ones for now and worry about the little ones later, if we even can, because it might be covered by factory. So let's kind of make markers for each one of our major patches of resources. Sapphirite, 672. Oh, but there's a big one, 1.7 million there. I think that one was the biggest one. So we'll put that there to say that's where we're going to mine the sapphirite. Stereotype, 4.1 million. That one looks pretty big. Or 3.3 million too. That one's only 1.6. This is definitely our biggest stereotype. Let's see. I think that was the Givelite. We got that one at the last second. That's our biggest Givelite. And I believe up here was the rest of it. We had a big Crotinium, a big Rubite, and our big Mommonium. So there's a lot of mining that's going to happen up here. Hopefully I'm remembering the correct location for the biggest patches we found. We're not going to worry about any other resources for now, besides those, because we want to kind of do it in the order that the resources are being used. So although we're going to need coal and oil and all that stuff, the first step here is the mining of the basic ores. Looks like we need sapphirite soon. The mining of the basic ores and sorting them into the resources that we need, like iron and copper and all that. So we're just going to worry about the 6 principal ores for now. So that said, we need 6 train stations. And luckily, we have a blueprint book that tells us exactly how much we need. There is a slight difference between the loading and unloading stations, so let's make sure we get the loading station, which we have correctly here. Alright, let's pick up all of the extra resources out of the truck. Okay, got some plastic bars that need to go back where they belong. Okay. And now we just go through the list. So 186 times 6 is 1,116. Probably should have a steel chest here now. So let's set this to 1,116. Looking good. So let's just let that do its thing. 144 times 6. It's 864. We need a big chest for that. There that goes. 756. Put some big chest there. And 72 times 6. So 432. $29 times 6. It's pretty small. Now we're at the point where you can kind of just manually pick up the stacks as necessary. So we need 2 stacks of rails, and looks like 2 stacks of poles. Let's get rid of this wood. Might get slightly better performance out of this with the underground belt right here. Might as well drop the plastic off as well. You still chugging away at that slag? Yep. And the silo is filling up. I believe we needed about 2 stacks of power poles. It looks like we're going to start needing kind of trace amounts of everything else. So about a stack of regular undergrounds. And about a stack of fast splitters. About a stack of lights. It's kind of a nice thing about having these chests is you can just keep throwing the leftovers back in the chests, and the circuit network will take care of the rest for you. And it looks like we need very small amounts of the rest of these. So it's like half stack of those, half stack of lights. And might as well throw all the train stations in there. Well, but we only need the 6, so... yeah, I'll just throw the whole stack, why not? Because actually, train stations and signals are something we're going to need a lot of, so might as well just carry those in the truck permanently. And that's it, except for the things that are getting made. For the pattern, anyway. But there's some other things we need as well. Mainly, we need 6 trains to fill all these train stations, so 6 trains is going to be 12 engines, or 12 locomotives. Lots of engines, lots of steel, and everything else. The resources continuing? Looks like it's full up there, so how are we doing on sapphirite? We're starting to run out. We should make a trip down there soon. I wish we had a radar there so we can see how the acid's doing, so we should place one there. And I believe we need 36 cargo wagons. So we have 32, so 33, 34, 35, 36. And we're going to need fuel for those trains. Not sure exactly what would be appropriate. These trains aren't going to be moving that much in the beginning. So let's say 50 per engine, or 100 per train. So that means we need 600 or 3 stacks, and we have 3 stacks. So maybe expand this to 5. And let's open up some spaces down here for fuel. Let's go get some sapphirite. See how that acid's doing. Put a radar down, etc. Okay, out of acid. Let's see, let's do a radar. Just so we have some idea of what's going on over here. This is not like this is a prospector, so this radar can go anywhere. Although these chests were pretty full, so it wasn't too bad. Just have to remember to bring the acid back down. While the factory continues to do its other stuff, there is some other components we're going to need. We already have some. We need miners. And how many miners? Well, a lot. It's not the easiest thing to estimate. So we're just going to have to kind of guess. I mean, we could estimate if we really wanted to. It's probably going to take more time than we would save by building just a bunch of miners. So I'm thinking maybe 800. That may not be enough, but we'll see. We've already got some, so fortunately it's a 3-step process. So let's try to do it 1 step at a time. Let's see if we can build 800 burners. Well, let's do 750 burners, and we actually know, based on this recipe right here, how much that would be. 750 times 4 for the bricks, so we need 3,000 bricks. And I mean, we could automate this, but that's like a 3-step automation, and like once we build all these miners, we're not going to need them anymore. So I'm hesitant to put anything on the bus that we're only going to really build once in a blue moon. And something as crazy as building 800 miners is something we only really need once in a blue moon. So we need 3,000 bricks. I'm gonna have to like clear out my inventory to make enough room for all this. So there's our 3,000 bricks. We also need 3,000 plates. Let's see, I'm just going to put a chest here. And throw everything in the chest not directly related to making these miners. And we need those motors. So 3,000 plates. See, if we take one of these away, we can just sit here and just suck everything up. And again, like before, when we were building all those walls, the limitation of the factory is not how fast we can build things, but just how fast we're producing material. So we don't even really save time by building them with the bus. So, stuff to consider. Alright, so there's our 3,000 plates-ish. Can connect that back. And now we need 750 motors. Which we might actually have just on the bus. But as motors come down, we can just start building these guys, and when we run out of bricks, we've built enough. There we go. Everything's queued up. Now let's collect everything we need for the second tier. So that's 3,000 gear wheels. Okay, almost got our 3,000 gear wheels. There we go. Now we need 1,500 electric motors. Which we might not have room for, so we might just have to start using up what we have. But we'll know we've got enough when we run out of gears, since we have a pretty close to exact number of gears, so... Let's kind of start queuing things and clearing up the inventory here. Almost got through the burners here. And there we go. Now we're working on the minor Mark 1s. So the Mark 2s require bunches of stuff. So 3,750 electronic boards to start. Even more steel plates. That's crazy. Kind of wondering if I should just let that thing do its thing, because we need so much steel. We should probably just wait that out. So we also need 3,750 steel gear wheels. Basically what I'm thinking is, once we have enough electronic boards, we'll just use up all the electronic boards and then we'll know we're good. So 3,750 is that magic number. Alright, 3,753. It's a lot of stuff. Now it's just we need steel. So we can just keep picking up gear wheels and keep picking up steel right here. So let's disconnect this connection right there just so I can stand here. Well, I'll connect it. I'll stand right there. Can I reach? Yes. So we just stand here sucking everything up and making miners until we run out of circuit boards. I think at this point we'll just keep using up the gears that we're getting from this assembly machine and manufacture the rest by hand that we need. Looks like we've caught up to the factory's production of steel, so things have slowed down again. The crafting queue's probably going to catch up to where we are in resources here in a bit. Looks like we're just about caught up with our steel production here. Yep. So when that becomes the case, when I'm no longer waiting on crafting, I think I'll just go up to the steel machines and finish up the rest of these. Yeah, the full output of the factory is making steel right now. Just 20 miners left here and we'll finally be done with this. There's 10. And there's 20. Whew, wasn't too bad, but still took a little longer than I would have preferred. Gonna take a while for the steel to catch up. Boom. Let's see. We've got some other things we need to take care of. There's also lots of lights and belts and that sort of thing. As far as lights, let's do maybe a total of 300 extra lights. And for power poles, and well, 300 lights is probably too much. Maybe yeah, like 150. I'm thinking like maybe 300 power poles. Even that's probably too much, but whatever. Let's do 300 power poles. And lots of belts. And also some belts for splitters and things, but... Well, let's pick up all the resources we need so we don't mess things up. Because it looks like we've finished building everything for the pattern. So let's pick up all those things. So those are all the belts we need. And inserters. Regular belts. Set those to 800. So we need treasure chests. Treasure chests, just boxes. They look like treasure chests. Sometimes they have treasures in them. Okay. Just pick up all of that, set it back down to one stack. Okay. That should be everything necessary for the pattern. Seems like it. So let's just pick up the extra things we need for mining. Let's pick up these extra lights. And the extra power poles. And then it's just belts. A lot of belts. Which might take a little while for this to catch up, but... How many belts? Well, it's going to be a lot. That's for sure. And they're all going to be red belts, too. Maybe 2,000? It's not like we're not going to need red belts for things. So let's just set that for 2,000. Let that chug away for a while. Let's take a look at the factory. Good thing I decided to do that. We just ran out of Jivalite. It just ran out. Definitely need more. Our prospecting's done too, so we should set those miners up. Meanwhile, there's probably some spare miners we can grab. Have our other sections going. Working on the slag as usual. Crutinium is okay. Any miners we can grab? Looks like it. Looks like Reverse Factory gotta finish reversing things. And let's use up some of those miners we just got to fill this out. And I guess while we're waiting for everything else to be built, we can just kind of clear out the inventory here. Let's see, some of this stuff we can definitely hold on for later. Like all these pumps. And these fluid wagons. And these tanks too. We'll definitely need them eventually. Probably the loaders too. Yeah, this would be a great opportunity just to clean everything up a little bit. It's going to be weird having those... Oops, don't need those. It's going to be a little weird having these iron pipes in the inventory, but we actually use those for making containers and things, so we'll eventually use them, so it's probably worth just keeping them in there. Okay, inventory is looking pretty clear. I think we just need all those belts, and we do have some spare splitters and things because we're going to need to make probably a bunch of balancers. Maybe if we brought one spare stack of the undergrounds and splitters, that should be enough. We can just throw those in the truck full of goodies. How are we doing on these belts? Not very far. Sadness. Looks like we're running a little low on sapphire again while we wait for those belts to build, so we might as well get more. Let's use the radar we placed to see how we're doing on acid. It's actually running pretty low, so it's worth getting another load of it. Pretty close on belts. We need about another 500 red belts or so. How's that landfill going? Still working on it. One step at a time. Let's see what to do with those other sulfuric barrels. Probably just take them back. Should still be time to throw some in there. Just barely. This belt should be pretty close to done now. Yep. Excellent. So we'll pick up our 2,000 belts and let it make another 2,000 because why not? Well, we might need some of those belts, so I'll just throw them in there. We'll grab them later when we need them. I think that's everything, actually. I think we are good to build 6 mining bases and set up train stations for them. So let's get to that. But that's all the time we have for today. We'll get to building those mining bases on the next episode. Thanks for watching.